I'm here today with 4 of my team members, and we are going to give our client's pantry a complete makeover. The idea is to take a pantry which was pretty well organized, but a little disheveled in a very small space. We want to give that pantry a complete makeover. So the idea is to use a couple of cupboard organizing tools, some really nifty little toys like clips to close containers and things like that, and to really make it more functional, more aesthetically pleasing, and more practical in a really small space. The first step that we always take when we're organizing wardrobes, pantries, cupboards, shelves, is we take stuff off the shelves. We never try and sort and declutter in the shelves, because that then allows us to get a better view of what we're dealing with, particularly in a small space like a pantry. There's too many people, too many hands, and too small a space. So the first step is clear the shelves and we take everything out. Then we give it a mighty good clean. And the idea there is that we don't put groceries, clothes, anything else that we're repacking in, we don't put that onto a dirty shelf. On the surface, shelves actually look quite clean when there is stuff on it. The moment you take the stuff off, you see that it needs a really good clean. So that is what we start to do, and we give it a really good clean, make sure that the shelves are completely dry. The next step is to put down shelf liners. And we really like the shelf liners that are waterproof. So if anything spills, you can literally just wipe it and it doesn't ruin the melamine shelf underneath. And once those are down, then we start to have a look at which organizing tools we're going to use to pack things into, to repack. So many of our clients approach us because they have very deep cupboards or very wide shelves. And it seems like a luxury to have that space, but quite often it is a burden because you cannot reach items at the back or you cannot pile things high. So the idea of using tiered steps is that you can see the items at the back. And quite often in deep shelves, when things are just stacked one behind the other, we lose sight of what is at the back. And quite often with my clients, we find multiples of certain groceries because people forget that they're at the back and they can't see them. So we like to use those tiered steps so that you can actually see what is at the back and you don't have excess groceries that expire before you use them. So the idea in a pantry that has got very open shelves like this pantry here is that we really want to try and consolidate like with like. So we try and keep the same stuff together. And there are great tools like clear organizing trays where you can see through the tray, but it consolidates the stuff and puts it together. And of course, my favorite, the Lazy Susans. So we are using quite a few of those types of tools of varying sizes and shapes so that we can get the right size items in the right trays, but it'll still look really good. To close the items, there's 2 products that we'd like to use. There are silicone closing ties, which are really nifty to close things where you want to gather the top of the item. And then there are also food clips, which are effectively like pegs, but they're specifically made for closing packets of items. And those things clip at the top. Very, very handy to use. They're also eco-friendly because they're completely reusable. And you also don't have to go and raid your peg basket. The one thing that we've noticed in this pantry is that the iron and the ironing board are shoved behind the door of the pantry. While it's out of sight, it's not really out of mind because it does get used every day. And our approach is very much to get things off the floor. So we will be using a wall-mounted iron and ironing board holder to get the iron off the floor and mount it on the wall. So although it will still be out of sight, it will be off the floor and the floor can be kept clean. I am so happy with how this pantry has turned out. Really, the use of clever organizing tools here has maximized the space, and not only is it practical, but it looks really good. What we've tried to do is lift the items at the back, so it's really made use of the maximum space at the back. You can now find stuff that you're looking for. We've also used under storage, so we have storage in containers like that, which is fantastic. So there's some stuff that has been hidden away, but easily accessible should you need it. We've maximized the use of clear storage containers so that you can see what is stored in the containers that we've used. And then what we've tried to do is double up the space in using items like this. I'm really, really thrilled with how this has turned out because it allows us to stack items high without them falling over. So we've kept all the tablecloths and placemats and all the fly covers in the same place here, easy to find and easy to store as well. So one of my favorite finds today is this tiered storage unit. We love how it hides stuff. It gives us the height that we need, and it's really got a smooth mechanism to be able to pull the drawers in and out. What is also quite handy is that if you need to take the entire drawer out, it simply lifts out. So it's really practical as well.
Explore Gelma's range of storage and organization solutions in store or browse online.